JV guys are definitely recruitable, especially if they've gone to a camp and ran some exceptional times. But for most part, your varsity film is key to getting recruited, unless the film is unbelievably. Those camps are good if the school's actually recruiting you. Then it actually is a great benefit because they get a chance to take a look at you. If you had no interaction from the school at all, then it doesn't make sense to go to a college camp that a school isn't recruiting you. We love Memphis. We ran camps there for a bunch of years, actually over 10 years. Last couple of years there's been low interest. So if we have more interest in Memphis, we'll run more camps there. Lots of talent in Memphis, no doubt about it. Not sure if we're talking offensive line or defensive line, but on the offensive line, unless you're playing the center position, it's probably going to be on the shorter side. It's going to be very difficult with Division I scholarship as a 6'1" line, nearly impossible unless you're a center. Well, like any other school, it depends on what you're looking for, what position you play, but there's a ton of very talented JUCO schools around the country. There's a conference in Mississippi. There's a conference that Lackawanna Junior College, Pennsylvania plays in, a lot of conferences in California, Arizona. College camps are a great way to get recruited if you're already being looked at by the school, unless you're incredibly fast, tall, or extremely athletic with great size. If they're not already looking at you, going to a college camp that isn't a school looking at you isn't. Make one highlight tape and have the first part be offense and the second part be defense. You don't need to make two separate highlight tapes, incorporate them into one highlight tape. Just make everyone know where's offense and where's defense. Feel free to ask me any recruiting questions you may have, as recruiting is starting to pick up as you get towards the end of the summer with all the camps going on. Want to make sure you get all your questions answered. Your chances are probably pretty low of being Division I running back running a 4.840 at 5'8", 150 pounds. In general, those guys are much larger and much faster. So being on a losing team that's a great question, by the way. It doesn't necessarily hurt your recruiting process. Recruiting is, for the most part, taking into account the individual efforts of the individual and what he's performing. Your D1 chances all depends if you get more height. You get a couple more inches. You could have possible an opportunity if you're bullet fast at the defensive end position. That's the key. You're young, so you're still going to grow and develop. Great question. Size is always an issue, and height is always at a premium at the cornerback and safety position. You can cover more ground vertically. You have longer arms. You can extend to bump and run. So height is an important factor, definitely. Not sure if there's an ideal size from a D2 D lineman standpoint, because it depends if you're defensive end or defensive tackle. But at defensive end, you want to be at least probably 6'1" and somewhere to 230 range or bigger. And with tackling a ball carrier, great question is what's more effective. Driving the legs is obviously is critical to getting anybody down. You have to do that no matter what. When you do the roll tackle, when your head's on the outside, that's also important to drive your legs. This is one of my favorite questions of the day. It's important to make sure you use multiple avenues, reaching out to college coaches directly, going to college camps, going to combines and showcases, putting down great film. Those are some of the keys. Arguably one of the funniest questions I've got. Probably no 100-pound running backs in the NFL. Appreciate the humor. Love you. What offensive questions do you have for me in recruiting, or what you're doing to improve? Chances are really good. I mean, if you got speed and athleticism, 6'1", 180, a freshman as a, it depends on what position you play, because I noticed you didn't put receiver, what position you play. That's going to be important.